Hi, everyone. In this presentation, we will be going over the International Oversight Committee review process for study abroad. As some context, UTA has approved to plan for study abroad travel to resume for May and summer 2021 programs and beyond. But due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the university has additional requirements and considerations in place. You can find information about the study abroad guidelines in response to COVID 19 on our website, studyabroad.uta.edu. But in brief, these include required review by the IOC, that's the International Oversight Committee, for all study abroad programs, special attention being paid to program details such as logistical arrangements, and all intended participants should carefully consider information related to financial commitments, insurance coverage, personal risk assessment, and expectations for program participation when choosing to proceed with their intended program. Focusing now on the IOC review, this process was previously required for some study abroad programs taking place in higher risk locations. However, as part of the new guidelines, this is now required for all study abroad programs. Students applying for reciprocal exchange and affiliated study abroad programs will submit individual travel requests to the IOC, and these requests will be reviewed approximately 60 days prior to the program start date. We've outlined the timeframe here so that you have an idea about when this process will take place. For programs beginning in May 2021, IOC requests will be reviewed in March. For programs that start June 2021, the review will happen in April, and so on and so forth. Be advised that due to the evolving nature of the COVID 19 pandemic, this IOC review timeline and travel approval decisions are subject to change. Programs and students approved to travel may still be subject to travel suspension prior to departure, or participants may be recalled while abroad. We've shared here some of the factors that will inform the IOC travel approval decisions to show that the committee is considering multiple criteria. This includes guidance from relevant authorities such as UT System, CDC, and Department of State, but also travel restrictions and current COVID conditions in the intended country. Now getting to the specific travel request form, which is available online on the Office of International Education's website, www.uta.edu/OIE, as part of the Travel to Restricted Regions section. Students applying for exchange and affiliated programs should complete the Students form, which is the second one listed there in the screenshot. Completed forms should then be emailed to the IOC contact, Mr. J. Horn at horn@uta.edu. Please note that although UTA study abroad staff are available to answer questions, it is ultimately your responsibility to complete and submit the IOC form for review. UTA study abroad staff will not complete or submit these forms on your behalf. Here is the first page for the student travel request form. Keep in mind that this is a multi-purpose form, meaning that it's used not only for intended study abroad participants, but students planning to conduct research abroad, present at international conferences, etc. So the language is purposely broad enough to include different types of travel. As we go through the form in this presentation, we'll be providing some clarification about how you, as a prospective study abroad student, should complete certain items. So the top section here is for your information as the traveler, your name, email, ID number, etc. When it asks for your department, you'll enter in your academic major, for example, political science or international business. The next section is about the purpose of travel, which for you is study abroad. In the same line, please note the name of your study abroad program, such as Yonsei Exchange Program or CIS Abroad Summer in Barcelona Program. Please be sure to include all countries and cities for your intended program. If you are applying for a traveling program, all program locations must be included. For the dates of travel, you'll put your program start and end dates. The last section on the page is for the required signatures. You will sign and date as the traveler and then forward the fully completed materials first to your department chair for your academic major. Not sure who the department chair is? Your academic advisor can likely assist, or you can look them up on the UTA website for your academic major. To send the IOC forms for signature, you can scan and email to the department chair for them to print and sign before returning to you. Alternatively, you can download and save the form as a PDF And if the department chair has a digital signature, they can use that to sign electronically. After the form has been signed by the department chair, the next required signature is from the dean for your college or school. We suggest that you request for the department chair to return the signed form to you after they sign, and then you contact the dean rather than asking the department chair to forward the form on your behalf. This allows you to keep track of the documents and follow up as appropriate. Again, if you do not know who the dean is, your academic advisor can assist, or you can look them up on the UTA website for your college or school. When contacting the department chair and dean, please be respectful. You are making a polite request for their assistance, not a demand. They will also need time to process the request, so do not wait until the last minute to request their signatures. If the department chair or dean has questions about the IOC process, they are welcome to email UTA Study Abroad at studyabroad@uta.edu. Page 2 of the IOC form is for additional contact information. First will be your contact information while abroad, including your full name as it appears on your passport and phone numbers. If you plan to keep your current cell phone number to use while abroad, list that number, as well as any additional phone numbers that someone could use to contact you in an emergency. If you plan to purchase an international phone after arrival, you can mention that here, but you can also include contact numbers for an on-site resident director, or the exchange partner's international office, etc. Just be sure to clearly note what the phone number is for. You should also provide details about your housing arrangements, such as the name and address of the residence hall, local apartment, or host family. You may need to contact either your exchange program contact or affiliate program provider if you haven't received those details when it's time for the IOC review. You must also provide information for a contact person here in the U.S. in case of emergency. Include their relationship to you, such as parent, spouse, etc., and multiple forms of contact details, so email, phone, and address. If your chosen contact person is not a family member, for example, a roommate or a friend, you must also provide a second contact person who is a family member or someone who can approve medical treatment or make other critical decisions on your behalf. List the person's name and instead of title, indicate their relationship to you. You can leave the department line blank, but remember to complete the email and phone number fields. If you have a secondary family contact, you can also provide their information. The third page of the IOC form is for the program travel itinerary, including flight and other transportation details. Remember that we advise you not to purchase flights or make other travel arrangements until after IOC approval. Instead, you should provide the details for the flight or flights you intend to take. Please provide as much information as possible about your program, including intended flight itinerary, academic calendar, schedule of program activities, etc. This information can usually be found online either from your exchange university or affiliate program website. The IOC is especially interested in the logistical details, such as ground transportation and daily activities. Be sure to include specific notes about how you will travel from the airport to your program housing or to meet your program staff on site after arrival, as well as how you will get to and from class each day. Additional information about on-site support can be very useful here, such as possible airport pickup, welcome and orientation services provided by an exchange office or resident director, support available from a host family, etc. You should be able to get a lot of this information from your program contacts, but if you have questions, please reach out to UTA Study Abroad staff. Page 4 of the IOC form is a written statement explaining your travel purpose. For study abroad, this should include why the study must take place in the intended location and how it works with your academic plans. You should clearly articulate why studying abroad at this time is necessary from an academic perspective, and it would be a good idea to acknowledge your awareness of and agreement to comply with all guidelines and requirements for participation in your intended program, including COVID-related protocols in the host country. The fifth and final page of the IOC travel request form requires you to provide some country-specific safety and security information. As noted on the form, International SOS is the emergency assistance provider for the UT system, including UTA. You will visit the International SOS website using the membership information included in the instructions here to review the country profile and mark the risk rating for your intended country. We've included a small snippet of an International SOS country profile page so that you can see how the information is presented. International SOS provides a detailed assessment of the COVID impact, as well as other security, medical, and travel guidance, and even information on specific cities. This information is updated daily, so you should review periodically between now and your program start date for the most recent updates. You will also review the U.S. State Department's travel advisory for your intended country at www.travel.state.gov. A snippet from that site is shown here so that you know what it looks like. And although not specifically noted on the IOC form, again, it's a standard form for multiple types of student travel and multiple types of risks. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, you should also review the CDC travel notice for your intended country as well. These are found online at www.cdc.gov, and an example is shown here. Copied at the bottom of the slide is the next question from the IOC form, which asks you to describe potential risks you might encounter, many of which are outlined in the International SOS, State Department, and CDC pages you've just reviewed. In addition to COVID-related risks, there may be other health, crime, or security risks you should address for your specific country. This third question is regarding your level of familiarity with the intended country. Here you can provide some contextual information, such as previous travel to the country, how long you've been studying the language and culture, etc. If you haven't been to your specific study abroad program country before, but have other travel experience, you can mention that here. In particular, if you have traveled on your own, not with your family or with a group, you should make note of that previous experience as an independent traveler here as well. The final question is about the steps you plan to take to mitigate the risks you described earlier. The guidance from International SOS can be especially useful here, and your familiarity with the country and culture will also help you identify ways you can help keep yourself safe and healthy while traveling and studying abroad. In addition, you'll likely have received information from your specific program about their safety and security protocols, particularly in response to COVID-19. You should include this guidance when completing these questions to further demonstrate your knowledge of and willingness to comply with these protocols. If needed, you are also welcome to attach additional pages or supplemental documentation to the IOC form. As some last general advice about completing the IOC travel request, you should provide as much information as possible and as much detail as possible up front. This will not only assist the IOC members in reviewing your travel request, it will save you time later by minimizing any follow-up requests for additional information. We hope this overview of the International Oversight Committee travel request process for study abroad has been helpful as you plan to study abroad this summer or fall. If you have additional questions, please contact our office at studyabroad@uta.edu or visit our website at studyabroad.uta.edu to schedule an advising appointment. Thanks for watching.